Good afternoon. Today we read in the Bible how important bread is. A crowd gathered and they had nothing to eat, and Jesus miraculously fed them. This is what John Mark, not the one of the 12, but the disciple who was a young man running away from a crowd naked. He's an eyewitness of the first century. He wrote it down in Gospel 16 chapter. But today we read chapter 8 right in the middle. And Jesus feeds 4,000 people. You will not believe. Some of you don't believe. I believe it's true, and it really happened. Let's see. During those days, a large crowd gathered, and they followed Jesus. They had nothing to eat, so Jesus called for his disciples to come to him. He said, "Look, I feel deep concern for these people. They have already been with me 3 days. They don't have anything to eat. If I send them away hungry, they will become too weak on their way home. Some of them have come from far away." They came from all over. 4,000 was just the men, not women and children. There were even more. His disciples answered, "There is nothing here," they said. Can anyone get enough bread to feed them?" "How many loaves do you have?" Jesus asked. 7, they replied. "Look, there's just 1 loaf of bread here. That's what we take up on the mountain when we go. It's just for 1 or 2 person. This way we go up on the mountain, take some bread and cheese." But these people, they were so excited about what Jesus is teaching, they forgot to take bread along. "So how much they have?" 7, they replied. So they could gather 7 bread. Verse 6, chapter 8, Mark's Gospel, Injiil, Marcus, the Injiil. He told the crowd to sit down on the ground. He took the 7 loaves and gave thanks to God. Then he broke them and he gave them to his disciples. They set the loaves down in front of the people. The disciples also had a few small fish. Jesus said he gave thanks to them too. He told the disciples to pass them around. The people ate and they were satisfied. Verse 8, chapter 8. The people ate, they were satisfied. Jesus cares about our hunger, physical and spiritual. I love food, all type of food. And when we fast, we understand the value of food. After you start eating again, it tastes so much better. Even just this bread, without cheese or anything, it tastes so much better after fasting. But these people were not fasting. They were just in the wrong place, the big crowd far away. After that, the disciples picked up 7 baskets leftover pieces. About 4,000 men were there. Jesus sent them away. Then he got into a boat with his disciples. He went to the area of Dalmanuta. So after they had eaten bread, Jesus went away. He didn't want to be celebrated. He was just happy enough people had food. Verse 11, the Pharisees came and began to ask Jesus questions. They wanted to put him to the test, so they asked him for a miraculous sign from heaven. He sighed deeply. He said, "Why do you people ask for a sign? What I am about to tell you is true. No sign will be given to you." And he left them. He got back into the boat and he crossed to the other side of the lake. The disciples had forgotten to bring bread. They had only 1 loaf with them in the boat. Look at this. Only 1 loaf they had. "Be careful," Jesus warned them. "Watch out for the yeast of the Pharisees, and watch out for the yeast of Herod." They talked about this with each other. They said, he must be saying, "This is because we don't have any bread." Again, they were taking it the wrong way. Again, not having bread was a problem for the disciples. Jesus knew what they were saying, so he asked them, "Why are you talking about having no bread? Why can't you see or understand? Why can't you see or understand? Are you stubborn? Why are you talking about having no bread? Why can't you see or understand? You are so stubborn. Don't you have eyes and you still don't see? You have ears and you still don't hear. And you remember? Earlier I broke 5 loaves for the 5,000. Remember, that was an earlier story. How many baskets of pieces did you pick up? 12, they replied. Later I broke 7 loaves for 4,000, the story we read today. How many baskets of pieces did you pick up? 7, they answered. He said to them, can't you understand yet? And you, my friend on Facebook, can't you understand yet that Jesus is the one who cares for us, cares for what we eat, and also for our salvation? And He is the one who can multiply bread for us when we are hungry and we need it. He is the miracle maker, and we can trust Jesus even today.